I'm no longer in rainy Vancouver, I am in beautiful California, driving the new BMW M2. I'm on the road right now. I will get a track portion later on at Laguna Seca Raceway, but for now, we've got some twisties, been driving up and down the coast all morning, and what a beautiful drive it is. You Californians have it so lucky. The scenery is magnificent, the roads are beautifully paved, you got twisties at every turn, and I've got this awesome new M2 at my disposal. It's got the 6-speed manual transmission. The DCT I will sample when we get to Laguna Seca. And 2 or 3 turns later, I love it already. Its steering is so incisive. It is so precise. It turns in so sharply. So initially, I was a little bit skeptical about the weight. Didn't seem to be a whole lot lighter, or even lighter at all than the M235i, which I drove 2 years ago in Las Vegas. You saw the video. But this M2 is a totally different animal. This is a new thing for BMW. It's a proper M car, just like the 1M before it. It's got lots of parts lifted straight from the M3 and M4, like parts of the suspension. There's better oil coolers. There's a special cooler just for the DCT transmission. There's an additional radiator. BMW tells me it's been beefed up specifically for hard driving, for track duty. And that's a great thing, even if you don't intend to go to track, even if you're just using for a street, it's a more durable performance car. I'm loving the synchro rev match feature on this manual gearbox. And really guys, come on, the take rate needs to be higher. We need to tell manufacturers we continue to want manuals. And it's true for BMW, they're continuing to give us a 6-speed. So if you enjoyed shifting for yourself, the 3-pedal, just order it with 3-pedal. I know I would. It is such a joy to roll through the gears. I love the turning of this car, even though it is seemingly a little bit heavy. The really direct, really sharp steering really gives you a sense of confidence and really makes the car shrink around you. It's just eating up these twisty miles. You've got multiple different modes in the suspension adjustment. You can go from comfort to sport to all the way to Sport Plus, which is the most extreme. It's a little bit too hair trigger feeling for me on the road. Maybe on the track it'll be a little different. I prefer to put it back on the regular sport mode. I like that a lot more. It strikes a really comfortable mix of performance and drivability, just like the old M cars were before they had all of this electronic gadgetry. Haven't really had a chance to rag on the brakes just yet. We'll save that for the track, but so far the pedal feel is excellent. It's firm, and the calipers and rotors, I'm told, are lifted straight from the M3 and M4. Now you can't get the ceramic brake option. I know I've said how much I love the BMW ceramic brake option on the M3 and M4, but these binders are probably more than adequate, really, for anything but the heaviest of track use. Anyway, you can't get it, and this car is positioned below the M3 and M4. It's about 52 grand starting, which is a really nice performance sweet spot for the compactness and size of the car. I mean, if you look at the car dimensionally, it's much closer to the E46, our beloved E46 3 Series. The 3 Series has steadily grown in size. The feel of the M4 is more of a grand touring sports car now, rather than a nippy, sharp, agile sports car. Speaking of sharp and agile, I mean, compared to the M4, you really feel it within the first couple corners. It turns in more incisively. There's more playfulness mid-corner while loaded up. It's more throttle adjustable, which is just dynamite. Like going through these turns now, these twisties, I can play with a subtle balance of the chassis with the throttle and steering. It's so interactive, and I love cars like that, cars that are interactive and forces driver involvement. It's really great to see that BMW is still making really good dynamic drivers cars. We're going towards the age of full automation pretty soon, and to have cars like this still in existence with a manual gearbox, with this type of playful chassis, it's really, really sweet. It's really good, a nice nod to the enthusiasts like you and I. Now, as far as the ride goes, it is a firm ride, but I wouldn't say it's unfamiliar to people who are used to M cars or sporting BMWs. You do feel more of the road texture, the way we're feeling now on these pockmarked surfaces, but it's a firm damping, but it still has very good body control. It handles a bigger and medium-sized bumps very well, and overall, it just has a very good old-school European feel. Modern 3 Series, I think, without Sport Pack especially, have gotten a little bit soft, a little bit too supple for my liking, and this brings us back to the old school, the way I've always wanted BMWs to feel. It's a proper M car. Now, what about the power plant? I haven't really had a chance to really wring its neck yet. We'll save that again for Laguna Seca in a few minutes. But so far on the street, I'm really loving the power delivery. It has a nice exhaust note, and that's one of the things that BMW did, was tune the exhaust note specifically for the M2 rather than just a performance exhaust on the M235i. It sounds great, it sounds burbly, it sounds meaty, it sounds like a big engine, but it does rev up and down quite nicely. It does drop its revs quite nicely, feels very responsive, especially with the rev match feature. Listen to that noise. Oh, I don't think I can get sick of that. I mean, it is turbocharged. We used to love BMW M's with their naturally aspirated motors. Those are no more. But what they've done with the M2 especially is I find that they've tuned a very linear power curve, more linear than the M3 and M4. The M3 and M4 always felt a little bit flat to me. I mean, they're very powerful, very torquey. You can get wheel spin in just about every gear in the M3 and M4, but not quite as satisfying. I like power bands that you have to work and build up through the range, kind of like ripping silk. It feels so good as you wind it up. I mean, it is still a turbocharged engine. You do feel the boost, and there is an overboost feature to give you some additional torque when you need it at hard acceleration. But 365 brake horsepower is more than enough for a car of this weight and dimension, and it's very satisfying. It's really nice to rev out. I do wish there was a bit more revs. I do feel like I'm running out of revs a little bit, but you know, drive around it, you get used to it. It's an excellent engine. So the street drive is over. I'm now here at Laguna Seca at last, and one of the last sessions of the day, driving the M2 on the track. In front of me is Bill Auberlen, same BMW race driver that led us through previous press launches with BMW. Here we are, just exiting pit lane. Brakes on this car is superb. Great pedal feel, relatively short travel. Oh, I love the way this car exits the corners. Laguna Seca is a track I've driven many times in Gran Turismo, but never in the metal. The red apex there, and power out. I love the interactivity of this chassis. It is so beautifully balanced. It is an absolute driver's car. Love it. I can floor it pretty much on the apex, and there's traction and grip and poise. Just an absolutely fantastic package. Here we go, corkscrew. You're actually entering the right turn a bit blind. And this coming up left turn here, so much G-force. You never really feel this in the video game. These two final turns, also very famous. Hard on the brakes. This engine is so linear. I love revving it out. Makes a glorious noise.
Hold on, we're gonna have to let some people by. Everybody to the right. Oh, she pulled over. Okay, let's go full speed, see if we can get away. Get away, if not, we're gonna let them by.
It's a late apex on the entry. There you go, some beautiful rotation on the exit. I love cars that rotate on the throttle. It's just much more playful. See? It's actually much friskier, much livelier than an M3 and M4. The M3 and M4 have rotation and interactivity, but they're much more stable, which I think is due to the longer wheelbase. This M2 is very, very frisky. It moves around quite a bit. That's what I enjoy about it. You have a lot of options in how you want to attack a corner. Here you go, corkscrew again. Hard on the brakes just over the crest. Another gear down. Look over, look at the tree with the ribbon. Hang a right. This turn always gets me. There we go. Got it this time. Do have to be a little bit patient on the entry. That turn there tends to induce a bit of understeer. Again, patience is key. Beautiful traction coming out of that slow speed turn. I am in the Sport Plus mode, the maximum attack in this car. It does allow... Oh, that crest is a little bit scary. This is a really late apex into turn one. You can see Bill waiting till the last moment to turn in. And so am I here, following his line as best as I can. Yeah. This car is a total hooligan. I love the power band. I love the brakes. I love the turn-in. I love the interactivity of the chassis. This is one of the most exciting BMWs I have ever driven. It is that good. Throw it in on trail braking, turn right blind, and back on the power. Yes. It's a lot of elevation change that you don't feel in the video games. Okay, I'm going to play around a little bit again. There's grip, there's poise. Whoa. So much stability in the braking. Patient, have to be patient. There you go. Now you see the apex. Power on, full power. Yeah. Oh, this car is such a joy. Alright, I'm going to drive it more tidy now so Bill doesn't get mad at me. This corner, this is the deceptive one. Oh, I love how he takes it. Just got a line that's about a foot or 2 feet tighter than mine, and it makes all the difference. Oh, Bill's into the dirt. I think he's trying to show me who's boss. Come on, Bill, we know who's the boss here. It's you. Cheer up the tires and upshift.
Let him catch up.
Alright, we're gonna wait for the guy behind us to catch up. Oh, what a thrilling car, what a thrilling machine. This car is a beast. I can't believe it. I haven't felt so excited about driving a new BMW, or very few cars that get my heart pumping, get the smiles on my face this wide. hope the video is capturing how great it sounds too. It is turbocharged, and turbochargers tend to muffle engines, but they've done a great job with the exhaust here. Maybe it's a bit of the sound symposium, I don't know, but you know, from the driver's perspective, I love the way it sounds. And the power delivery is more linear, I would say more linear than the M3, and I like that. There we go, neat and tidy. You can drive this car neat and tidy or fast and loose, it's really up to you. And that's really the hallmark of a great driver's car, isn't it? It gives you options. Okay, I turned a little early there. Be patient, be patient. Hit the apex, full power. Yes. I love it, I love it, I love it. Yes, the M2 is awesome. I don't just like it, I love it. So it's the next day. I've completed my program at the international media launch for the BMW M2 at Monterey, and I'm driving back towards San Francisco in a BMW xDrive 640i Grand Coupe, which is a spectacular Grand Tourer, by the way. Great in twisties, great in highways, really comfortable and luxurious. But I want to summarize a few thoughts I had about the M2 and answer a burning question that you probably have on Bimmerpost, and that is, how does it compare to the M3 and M4? Well, as far as performance goes, I don't think there's any doubt the M3 and M4 are more capable cars. They're more powerful, they're faster, they're grippier, and more sophisticated. But where the M2 shines compared to its older siblings is that the M2 is more of a driver's car. It takes more skill to extract performance from it, and it rewards the driver even more. Now, the M3 and M4 are grown-up, mature cars. They're very stable, but they've lost a little bit of the live wire, agile, wild feeling, hooligan feel that you absolutely get in the M2, and I love the M2 for that. It's clearly a car to me that's been designed by engineers and developers who love to drive and understand that an M car is allowed to be a little bit wild. I think in the past few years, M cars have become a little bit sanitized. They've become very good, but also a little bit too good. I know it's an odd criticism, but the M3 and M4, the M5, M6 have become a little bit too calm, too sophisticated, and they've lost a bit of their wild side. The M2 has that in spades, and I love it. I love it. Thank you, BMW, for building a car so fun, so extreme, yet so easy to drive and so exploitable. You saw how excited I was having fun playing with the car, playing with the chassis at Laguna Seca yesterday, but what I don't think I got across fully is how easy this car is to approach, even at the limits. It's got a level of chassis interaction and throttle steerability that are just world class, but at the same time, it's a car that's like a puppy dog. It is fun, it loves to play, it's easy to exploit, and I think any good, decent enthusiast driver can really get a lot out of this car. And it really makes you and encourages you to become a better driver. The M2 inspires me, and I actually love the way it sounds. One of the BMW product heads was telling me he wanted this car to sound like one of his favorite sounding cars, which was the E46 M3 CSL, and that's what he told his engineers to do. And he told me as the cars went by the M2s on Laguna Seca's main straight yesterday, that's the sound that he heard. I don't really know what the E46 M3 CSL sounds like. I've never seen or driven one in the metal. I think they must have done something right, because the way it sounded yesterday, both in the car and outside, was spectacular. It's much more inspiring to me than a slightly muffled sound of the M3 and M4. Don't get me wrong, the M3 and M4 are still fantastic cars. I still respect and like them a whole lot. But now that the M2's come around, I know which car my heart is set on. I think that if you're a car enthusiast, you really owe it to yourself to go and try one out and possibly buy one. If you do get one, please get the 6-speed manual transmission. It is just more fun. And we need to show manufacturers that us enthusiasts still want to buy manuals. You need to go in there and buy one new so that the take rate numbers are higher. If the take rate is too low for the manual, we won't see one for the next generation. I'm not just saying that to keep the manual around. This manual really is very good. The throws are short, the clutch, brakes, and throttle pedal are perfectly spaced for heel and toe, even though you don't really need it with a rev match, synchro rev match feature. Now, I do want to say something about synchro rev match. One thing I did notice yesterday is that it's active and it's mandatory on all modes except when you turn off all assists, meaning comfort, sport, sport plus, you will have synchro rev match mandatory. Some people may not like that. I do have some qualms about the fact that you can't turn it off separately. You know, I did have some worry about whether it was emissions or EPA or fuel economy related. It's why they want to have the synchro rev match. I was assured that has nothing to do with emissions. They just didn't want so many buttons and so much customizations. So it's up to you how you feel about that explanation. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm okay with it. I'm human, I make mistakes. I don't do it perfectly every time on my own with the heel and toes and the rev match downshifts. So to have a computer do it for me in Sport Plus, that's fine. If you want to do it yourself, you're going to go full manual. You do lose the stability safety net. So, you know, that's information up for you. You decide whether you like it or not. But I think that is probably the one small potential flaw that I find in this otherwise near perfect interpretation of what a contemporary driver's car should feel like. So how's this for a concluding statement? For all the BMWs that are available in their lineup right now, the M2 is the car I most want to take home. That's a problem now. I've driven it on the road and on the track, and now I really, really want one. And I think you do too. Be sure to join us on the forums where I'll take your questions and comments. We can hang out on Bimmerpost.com. And thank you for watching. I'm Sam from Bimmerpost reporting from California. Thanks again.